Hey guys, let's take a look at what the Harbinger of the new era is all about. It's our new myth manifest, this robot right here. It can be quite complicated, so please pay attention and follow along. The first thing we have to know is that we accumulate two different kinds of energy. We have red energy and we have blue energy. We need to accumulate this energy to be able to use his skill. Now it depends on which color of energy we have accumulated more of before we use this skill. The moment you use this skill, if you would have accumulated more red energy, you would dispel all buffs from all enemies. If we would have accumulated more blue energy, we would instead purify all debuffs from all allies. Sometimes the scenario of us having accumulated both 2 blue energy and 2 red energy could occur. If that's the case, then it is decided at random which of these effects take place. Additionally, there is a little bit more to these energies, because the red energy right here, the more you accumulate of it, the more critical rate and critical damage you gain. If you accumulate blue energy, each blue energy gives you incantation might and ultimate might. This is of importance because you can play this Harbinger of the new era with two different teams. One would be the rank up team around Marcus and Via, and the other would obviously be the Dynamo archetype team around Lucy and Ulrich. Alright, the next thing we have to understand is how do we accumulate red or blue energy? And the answer is that depends on how you go with your skill tree. In which direction do you take your skill tree? If you would go the right route here, this one, you would accumulate more blue energy. If you take the left route, you would accumulate more red energy. If you now would go first and take the mid path, you would accumulate energy by random. That of course doesn't play too much of a role, this random path here, because in the end you will have to decide which kind of color of energy you want to accumulate anyways. And this is the point where things start to get a little bit more interesting, because how do you decide which kind of color of energy you actually want to accumulate? You can go two different routes here when it comes to your thought process. You could either make this depending on the content, depending on the stage that you are actually about to face. So if the stage, if the content that you face would, if it would be beneficial there to dispel all buffs from the enemies, then you would go with the red energy. But if it would be more beneficial for you to purify all debuffs from your allies, then you would go with the blue energy. The other route you can take your thought process here is by making it depending on what team you play. If you play the Dynamo archetype team, you want to generate blue energy because incantation might and ultimate might is more beneficial than crit damage and crit rate for you in this specific team. But if you want to, or if you are about to play the rank up team, then incantation might and ultimate might would not be as beneficial as critical hit rate and critical damage. So if you play Dynamo, you want blue. If you play rank up, you want red. This will happen automatically because you will, or you should always choose one of these two different skill trees here that they pre-built for you. Now, if you follow my channel and you pay a little bit of attention, then you know that there's always a third route that you can go. You have two different paths and you have a hybrid path. This hybrid path for the Harbinger of the new era here does not exist yet. That will come into existence once Corvus and Brume actually exist. And that is all you need to know about the Harbinger of the new era. Now let's take this guy into battle and see how things look there. Here we are. Of course we're gonna play the Dynamo archetype team together with this guy. And you will see that we will accumulate blue energy because of the skill tree that I showed you earlier. So yeah, we can go over, there's not much to talk about here, so we can go over how to play the Dynamo archetype team again, because why not? We want to accumulate as many dynamos as possible and funnel them into the electric field. Ezra would at the end of the turn always funnel 20 dynamos into the electric field. He does only have 10 available right now. He always accumulates 10 dynamo whenever he uses a skill, so that is what you're always gonna go for. Doesn't matter if you use the buff or the debuff, that is up to you. Then you want to use the enhanced skill from Lucy. The other incantation is not enhanced, so we wouldn't funnel any dynamos, so we're not going to use that. And then we activate both channels for Ulrich. Now you will see that at the end of our turn, or at the beginning of our turn, I should say, we will accumulate blue energy. We have one red energy. That is always the case at the start of every single battle. Now we accumulated one blue. There's the second blue, and we will accumulate a third blue and then gonna use his skill. And that's really all about it, right? It all depends on what team you play and what skill tree you're gonna take. And then you're gonna be fine there. Alright, now we want to accumulate 20 dynamo again with Ezra so that he funnels those. How are we gonna do that? We're gonna use 2 of his incantations. Unfortunately, we do not have his buff incantation, but we have enough shields anyways, so 2 debuffs will get the job done. Now our second incantation with Lucy is also enhanced. That will funnel dynamos, so we're gonna go ahead and do exactly that. Then we have nothing else to do but use another channel incantation with Ulrich. Best case scenario would of course always be to not use Ulrich's channel incantation on turn 2, but rather use 2 spells or 2 incantations I should say with Lucy. The RNG here was not on our side this time, so yeah, sometimes you have to wing it a little bit. That is not much of an issue though. Now let's look at the manifest skill from our Harbinger of the new era. Let's use that skill. It would just simply deal some damage and yeah, either purify our debuffs or cleanse the buffs from the enemy. I forgot what the blue energy actually does. Again, excuse me. Now this turn it is time to activate the crit rate from Mercuria and then go completely nuts with Lucy. Wait a minute, let me focus this thing here. This is important in the stage. But in general this stage is a walk in the park and you don't have to worry about pretty much anything here. So yeah, this channel here by the way is always the better one to activate because it gives us ultimate might, so we're always gonna go ahead and use that. There are little machine guns and a bit of rocket. Looks pretty cool if you ask me, it's pretty funny. So yeah, you see that is the myth manifest. That is what it does. It's a pretty good myth manifest. Because of yeah, you can decide, right, what kind of buffs you give. Both of these energies give very good buffs. Crit rate, crit damage, fantastic. Incantation might and ultimate might at the same time, fantastic, right? It cleanses all buffs from all enemies. Damn. Purifies all debuffs from our own team, from all of our allies. That is pretty fantastic as well, if you ask me. So there you go. Now we have seen this guy in battle. It's not as spectacular if you just look at it, right? It looks a little bit of fun, but yeah, this thing is actually a really fucking good myth manifest. And yeah, don't sleep on this guy. He's really good. It's one of the better myth manifests, maybe even the best, right? But yeah, I mean, it depends a little bit, but it's really good. That's the point I'm trying to get across. And that's it for the video, guys. I hope this was fun and informative. If you like Reverse 1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server, link in the description down below. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, and we love this game.